great things in the community, and then he's going to interview them for about 10, 20 minutes. Now, a 30-minute podcast is probably the best as far as digestible content. you know Now some people try to drag it out to an hour, God bless them, but 30 minutes is good enough to where you can get to the point, get to the meat, and get the information out to the people, and they're not bored. Okay, because our millennials, they can get bored pretty fast. So we got to get it out to them. Now some people are doing podcasts that's only 10, 15 minutes, even better, right? Because that is only giving them the meat. And we don't have time to spit out the bones because they didn't have a lot of time to talk, right? So they're going to go and give you exactly what they need. So first off, think about what time you want to use in this podcast. Think about what you want to share in your podcast. Think about what your people, your audience are needing from the podcast. So those are the first things you need to ask yourself. Then once you have figured out who your audience is and where you want to go with that, then tailor your name to that. So my people, I help people create bringing people who are motivating others in the community, right? Who are doing great things. So my podcast at the time was called Motivate Social. So they're motivating on social media. So people already knew exactly what they were going to get when they came to my podcast. So naming something that in a way that people already know kind of takes away the minutia. Okay? Making sense so far? Y'all tracking with me? All right, I see the thumb. All right, very good. Now, let's say we got the name together. So in this instance, I'm going to use Motivate Social. And so I'm bringing people who are creating the world via social media. Okay, changing the world via social media. Now, so when the first person I'm going to bring up, let's say I bring up Texas Pap. Texas Paps is going to talk to me about how he's changing the world on the Metaverse. And then how he's taking that metaverse and putting it out on the social media. So he's bringing people from social media and then bringing them over to the metaverse and connecting them and preaching the gospel to them. Am I on the right track, Texas Pat? All right, very good. And so I'm excited about that. I want to share that, right? So then I'm going to record him in my world. We're going to chitty chat. He'd be right here, right next to me, right? And we're going to chitty chat for a little bit. And he's going to tell me how he did it, why he did it, and how other people can do it too. Okay, those are the three main points that you want to do: the how, the why, and how others can do it. Because in the process of us doing an interview, we're also motivating other people to do and to explore their opportunities, because you don't know what you don't know. And so the interview is going to let the people know what they don't know and that they can explore. So if I was going to talk to Darlene, I would talk to her about creating Christian communities and how you can go from a bowling event to bringing somebody to Christ. How cool is that, right? Because they didn't know what they didn't know. A lot of people don't know that you could use a fun event to make it thing, because, they think church is, oh, I got to get in my garb and I got to be super holy and all the things. No, you can actually bowl. You can actually play golf. You can actually just come and do a Bible study, and it can be fun and interesting, and you can still bring what? People to the Lord. So I would love to talk to Darlene about that, right? That sounds like an interesting interview. So she'd be sitting right here with me. We'd be chitty-chatting, right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on cast. I'm going to cast this video from my world, right? So I can get the audio and the video, okay? The audio, what I would do with the audio is I would put it on something like And for the podcast version, you can send them over to the video version so that people know that you're in both spaces, so that you can accommodate people the way they need to be accommodated. Some people don't just want to listen. Some people need to see your facial expressions, and they need to see the excitement in the interviewer's voice, when they're listening to this topic. Some people need to make that connection. So you have the video version and the audio version for your podcast. Is everybody tracking with me? Any questions so far? We're tracking? Okay, is this a good time to stop for questions? Are y'all already doing this? Does some sound like something you can do? Yep. Okay, thumbs. Okay, very good. So now, after I have my audio and my visual setups, then I'm going to make a page for it on my social media handles. Why? Because some people don't know you exist still. Okay? So what do? We bring our stuff to the people. So most people are on social media. So they're either on YouTube or they're on Instagram or they're on Facebook, right? And you're going to bring your stuff to the people and you're going to start advertising about your podcast. And you're going to make sure that it's fun and engaging. You're going to start your page off with a video about your trailer, what you do, why they should listen, who you're looking for to speak. Then you can also have a space where somebody can apply to be a speaker on your podcast. Why? Because you just don't want any Johnny come lately coming in there. They need to be on brand, right? And you get some time to vet. So send them a little 4 or 5 sentence questionnaire and let them fill it out. Let them give you your picture that you're going to need for the advertisement. Give them a little background so that, the 4 or 5 sentence bio you can read. And also a little bit about why they would fit your demographic. That way you're not talking to people that you don't need to be talking to. I mean, let's be real. Okay. But, they may not fit for your podcast, but they may fit for Darlene's podcast, or they might fit for Texas Pep's podcast, and you can send that information over to them. So this is still a connection, a community connection piece, but you are still getting the information and you're still sharing with the kingdom. So do y'all see how podcasting can help with your ministry that you're already doing? Yes. So how many of y'all think y'all could be interested in doing this? All right. I see a few. Now, believe it or not, I see some people that are saying, okay, so I'm a builder. How can I do a podcast on that? Do you know how many tech people are out there trying to learn what you want to know and want to learn about how many people are out there doing what you do? That is an instant podcast, and that could be like a 15, 20-minute podcast, and you're interviewing other different builders, other techniques, talking about software, talking about different things that you can be doing. This is a game changer. So just because you're in the background doesn't mean that you can't change lives with your podcast. And it's easy and digestible. This is how you bring people in. Sometimes when you're speaking, you'll be surprised. It will bring them to events. It'll bring them to the church. It'll bring them in. So whatever you need, come on in. Make sense? So be creative. This is a creative space that you can really connect. And you can do it audio, whether they on the car ride home, you can give them something to listen to.
helps us all put it into visual and helps us learn it and remember, like she said. So, the people that behind the scenes, they are a lot of times more important, in my opinion, than the people that are on the
Yes.
front running. So,
I love that Texas Pep. And yes, Art Girl could be getting interviews left and right about what she is doing. She could be really sharing this content and putting people into connections, because there's a lot of people who are introverts that want to serve and don't know how. And you could be teaching them, our girl, a new way to connect and bring people to the kingdom. And they may not be big talkers, but when you step into their worlds, that could take them to a whole nother dimension. So yes, think about it. Think about it, our girl. Think about it. Yes. Any other questions or comments? Did this resonate with anyone? Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And if anybody wants to talk, you have to go get the mic. But because I love having conversation, as y'all can tell, I love connecting. Yes, come on, our girl. Yay. Are you green? I think you have to hit your trigger.
I would just like to meet up with you later
Oh,
or
yes.
sometime soon. Okay.
Oh, yes.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Meta Mikey, did you have something or you were helping? You were just helping. Okay. All righty. And let's see if did anybody else have anything? Oh, okay, please.
Um, yeah, not really a question, but just
Mhm.
like a comment. Yeah, I think it's an awesome idea. Gives me something to uh definitely think about for future. Um, because I was looking to kind of like do news spots and things like that.
Mhm.
So yeah, so that would just add like another dimension to the events I already have. I maybe I'm, a little bit too much, but it's like, yeah, it seems really interesting. I never thought about like a podcast before.
Yes,
So yeah,
I look forward to your newsroom. That would be
yeah,
so fun. And
yeah.
then you could
Thank you.
also bring it up, open it up for other people to use,
Yep,
that's not so tech savvy. And, so that would be awesome. Imagine all the creative things that could come out of your world.
right. Yep, exactly.
Yes.
Always thinking. So thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. This is so great. And so I think I'm probably done. Is Bernice?